Welcome to my workshop. In today's video we're going to be checking out this absolutely fantastic machine, AlgoLaser Alpha, with 22 watt power module on board. Now this machine has got one of the best quality of life features I have seen in laser engraver and cutting machines. Now I don't want to get ahead of myself, so let's take a few steps back and actually put this bad boy together. After that, we'll do some extensive testing so you can see what this machine can do, what features it has, and what feature I am super pumped with this machine. Check it out. And there you go, guys. That's what's in the box. I like the nice paperwork there, really cool edition. You've got a nice snazzy box with all the bits and pieces, obviously the glasses. Now I've got the version with the air pump, and it does have this really nice controller to it as well. That's the first time I'm seeing something like that. Very nice. And if you were to get a powerful laser like this, 20 watt module, it's more than capable of cutting things, hence definitely pick up an air pump. It will give you far better results. Now, one thing that surprised me is that the module itself is straight away connected to the x-axis, and the x-axis is connected to the left-hand side of the frame itself, so it's all in one piece. We'll see how difficult or easy it will be to put this together. So let's do that now. Okay, so as you can see, I've got everything laid out, the front, back, the sides, the x-axis with the module itself. To assemble the frame, you're going to need 3 screws on each corner. These are the M4 screws. You can't really go wrong in the box. You can clearly see which ones they are. So yeah, let's put those screws in. And I'm going to carry on with that on all 4 corners. I have put the frame on its side, so I've got easier access to the wiring. I can connect the motor just over here. And then we'll move down the bottom to connect the rest of the wiring to the motherboard. You can't make an error here. The wires are color coded and they only fit in one place. Right, let's sort out the x-axis, okay? You've got 2 plates on either side and they've got holes for some bolts. And again, the same for M4 bolts that we're going to use to attach the x-axis to these plates. And the same thing on the other side. On that plate, you do have a limit switch that you need to connect to the power source, and it's just over here. Now we can put the module itself in the plate on the x-axis, and I have to say this is the best solution for that I have ever seen. Usually you get some sort of a screw that you need to screw into the plate to hold the laser module, and when you have to set up the focal point of the laser head, you need to undo it, lower it down, or take it up depending on what the focal point needs to be. However, in this case, it's just this lever to lock it in place. Absolutely fantastic solution, and the best I have seen so far in any lasers. So let's have a look if it works. Put it through, lever up. Look at that. Super stable, stays in place. Absolutely fantastic solution. Not seen that before. On the x-axis at the back, you've got some clips where the air hose goes. You can connect it to your module straight away. At the same time, the wire from the module that goes onto the x-axis here, we can just neatly put in the brackets here. Just make sure the laser module travels freely across the whole length of the axis. On the front panel, there's a place for a shaft that we need to connect, and you've got these couplers to do just that. And just secure it in place. We do have the tension belts in the x-axis here that moves the laser head, but also in the sides as well. We need to have a way to adjust the tension, and for that you do have a screw hole just in here and the M4 bolt that we need to put through here. Thanks to that, we'll be able to adjust the tension on the belt in the x-axis. underneath you can feel the belt itself and just amend the tension until it's correct. On the back of the frame you do have 2 screw holes on either side for the bit longer screws and 4/16. These will help to adjust the tension on the belts that are in the sides. When you set the tension with those screws on the sides, you can lock it in place to make sure it's not going to move on you. Right, so we've got a few more things to do. First of all, let's connect the air pump. That's the electric wire for it just over here. I really do like that there's no extra power brick for this. It only connects to the motherboard, to the frame itself, and it will take power from there. And as I mentioned before, you can adjust the air volume just by pressing the buttons, and you can see where you are exactly on the scale. And now let's connect the air hose. Just put that through the nozzle. Next, the power brick. And the last wire that we need to connect is the one that goes to your PC or a laptop. And the very last thing you need to do is to put the key. It's one of the safety features, okay? If you've got kids running around your workshop, you know, you can take the key off to make sure they will not be able to turn on the machine. Or if you're working in a busy environment and you don't want anybody else to actually be able to use your machine, you just take the key off. So that's in an on position. As you can see, the LED is flashing. Obviously, make sure that the emergency stop button is not engaged as it was just a second ago. It's a fantastic safety feature if you need the machine to stop straight away. Really handy device there. Okay, with everything now ready, I've got the machine fully assembled. As to expected, I've set it up in Lightburn, no issues at all. So we are ready to do some testing. First of all, we're going to do the engraving test, and after that we'll do all the cutting tests to see what are the capabilities of this laser. However, after the cutting tests, we're going to do some more engraving tests in different types of materials, and that's the best way to actually see what this machine is capable of. So let's start. Before we can actually start doing anything, we need to establish the focal point for the laser module, and it is super simple in this case. On this side here, you've got this little handle. You just lower it down and a small foot comes out under there. And there's no screws, there's no nothing. It's just got a lever. Release the lever, drop the module. It will land on that foot, lock the module, okay? And then you've got a small button just over here to retract that foot. And that's job done. Absolutely amazing solution. I've never seen that before on a laser module, and I'm really impressed with that solution. No messing around, super quick to do. I absolutely love that feature. Right then, couple of features about this machine. The laser head, as I mentioned, is 20 watts and the working area is 400mm by 400mm. The laser module itself is the 2nd generation COS technology, so it should give you better results when engraving and cutting. The maximum engraving speed of this laser is 24,000mm per minute. The machine also has Wi-Fi connectivity 2.4Gs, so with a correct application you can use your phone or tablet to upload your projects directly to the machine. Now, I already showed you a couple of the safety features, but on top of those you do have the tilt detection. So basically if the machine will, I don't know, be bumped accidentally by you, or somehow it's going to be tilting on uneven table, then it will detect that and let you know that there's something wrong. It has got current and voltage detection, so if there's any issues with that, it will let you know as well. And as I mentioned before, the emergency stop button and key lock. So the max speed for this machine is 24,000mm per minute. As you can see on my test, I've went for 20,000mm per minute. And that's the result for 20% power. I have to say it's quite nice. And at all those speeds, you know, 40%, 60, 80, 100, really nice solid results. At 2000 millimeters per minute, 100% power is very, very deep. As you can see, it's almost went through, and that's a 3mm plywood sheet. So all in all, very nice results, quite powerful module. Yeah, very good. Okay, let's do the cutting tests. First of all, 3mm plywood. You do have the LEDs on the module itself to tell you that the power's on, the laser is currently working. You've got the one with the air, so it is telling you straight away if there is air coming from the air pump or how much of it. So it does have red, amber and green. Obviously green means it's full flow, amber is about half, and obviously red, there's no air coming out. And the other two indicators at the front are the lens indicator and flame indicator. So you are all covered in all the aspects you may need, and from safety features as well. So all the information, it's quite easily accessible from the module itself. Now, as to be expected, 3mm plywood is definitely no issue to this laser module. Every single box is done 400mm, 80% power, and look how clean the cut is. Okay, there's no overburn, beautifully engraved and beautifully cut out. Okay, let's try 4mm plywood. One box left. Let's see if we can. Yeah, it's coming off. And there you go. Again, very good performance. 4mm plywood. All the tiles are out. So next one, 6mm. Let's have a look at that. And there we go, guys. 6mm plywood. Look at that, super thick. And we went to 300mm per minute, 90% power. Over here you can see it almost went through. A slight scoring on here. So yeah, that's the performance for 6mm plywood. Not bad at all for 20-watt module, I have to say. But in how many passes? It will be able to cut through 17mm pine board. Let's have a look at that. The settings here are 100% power, 100mm per minute. Let's have a look how many passes it will take to cut through this 17mm pine board. Wow, 2 passes and that's it. 2 passes, guys. Look at that, hardly any burn on it. It's actually quite bright. No overburn anywhere. I think that's the best performance on a 17mm pine board I have seen, and even in the stronger modules that I've recently tested. But hey, let's have a look how it's going to perform with 20mm. Okay, 4 passes. There was a little bit left, as you can see. Might have left it for a 5th pass, but 4 passes, that is not bad going. Again, no overburn, no nothing, hardly any scoring on the piece of timber. And remember, this is 20mm pine board, 20mm, 4 passes, not bad at all. Okay, I know this is only 20-watt module, but let's try out 25mm pine board. I'm really curious if it will be able to cut through this in reasonable amount of passes, or if it will able to actually cut this at all. 7 passes, 25mm point board, and it went through. And again, not much charring on the cut line, no overburn, really nice. And it's only 20-watt module. Okay, now I want to test the engraving quality of a photo, but we're going to do it in the maximum speed this laser can tackle. And look at that. It's all completed. Took about 9.5 minutes. Absolutely fantastic detail. Look at the eyes, the glasses, the shirt. Absolutely phenomenal quality. Very nice. Okay, now it's time to engrave steel. Right, yet again, I have underestimated the power of this laser. Look at that. That's 1.5mm thick metal sheet. And with 2000mm per minute, 100% power, it managed to bend it like this. Unbelievable power. And look at that. Actually quite interesting results here, guys. You can see different colors in the middle, so you can achieve different results depending on the power settings. Time for a piece of slate. And there you go. That's the results we've got. Settings were 3000mm per minute, 100% power. And I have to say, this came out absolutely brilliantly. Now it's time for the final test, ceramic tile test. As you can see, I've got different makes on it. So that's the spot for the AlgoLaser Alpha 20 watts. And again, really nice result here. I've actually went over a little bit on the water. Nice and clear engravement in the ceramic tile. As you can see, very good results. And there you have it, guys. That's the performance of the AlgoLaser Alpha 20 watt module. And I have to say, it is fairly decent. I've found no major issues with it. I do have one concern, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But overall, putting the machine together, easy, no issues at all. The frame and the quality, everything fits together, everything's square, and it's all in order, no issues there. Quite easy to adjust the tension on the belts as well. So all in all, very good. I like the built-in air assist. It's all out of the way really, and it's not causing any issues with cable management as well. Now, the one absolutely fantastic and phenomenal feature I'm super happy about with this machine is that there is no screw to actually adjust the height of the laser. As I've seen, the focal point, you can adjust it by just unengaging the lever there and engaging it again. Plus you've got that retractable foot that you just put down and then use a button and it comes up again. Absolutely fantastic, and the best I've seen so far in all the lasers I had on my channel. And frankly, I was quite surprised at how powerful the 20 watt module was. Even with 25mm point board, it managed to do that in reasonable amount of passes. I think it was 7. So yeah, very good quality of engraving. As you can see here, you know what, 24,000mm per minute, that is actually very, very good. And cutting ability, 6mm plywood, as you've seen, no issues at all. However, there is one thing that is concerning me a little bit. As you know, primarily my workshop is quite dusty because I work with wood. And what you've got here, the motherboard and all the wiring here is just open, okay? It's not closed off, it's opened to the elements of my workshop, and that means to dust, okay? That's my only concern at the moment. Overall, I am quite surprised by this machine, as I've actually not heard about AlgoLasers before, and when they contacted me I was quite unsure if I should go with this laser and check it out, as I usually tend to pick the ones that I know they will be decent quality. I'm not going to be wasting your time. However, on paper the specs and everything look really well, and I thought to myself, I'll give it a go and see if it is actually quite good. And to my surprise, it's very good, very comparable to the top makes of Auto, of Longer, Acer. Very solid performance here, guys. The price range more or less very comparable to its competitors. So I'll leave it with you. I'm going to drop some links to this down below in the description of this video, so you can go and have a look and check it out yourself if it's something that you would be interested in. However, I will be making a project video with this machine as well. So if you're interested in additional information about the performance and what it can actually do in real project live, then make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video. If you're interested in audio project work, workshop related, or maybe a bit more about lasers, then I've got you covered. I've got some really cool playlists just over here with tons of awesome videos. So click on those and maybe a video will tickle your fancy. I hope to see you on my next video. Take care.